It might be a short stream. First, I'm working. Second, it's ready to go to hunt. Mama is at the top. And Eaglet is on the old pair of eagles' secondary nest, the pairs that did not come back last year. It turned 8 months old on December 18th, and today is December 23rd. I don't know how long she'll be here, but wanted us to have a record that she's still here on December 23rd and seems to have adopted this old nest from another pair. So I did some asking around with the wildlife officials, and sometimes eaglets will stick around, very rarely, but it's also based on the weather. And when it gets cold and food is not easy to find, they'll migrate to other states where it's warmer and there is more food. But because we are having an exceptional warmer weather, also very windy, very warm, it looks like they've still got food, and that's why they're still around. And given I have to go to work, I won't be on long, but I just wanted to grab a filming of her while still here on December 23rd. And she turned 8 months old on December 18th. And she is hanging out on the secondary nest of the old pair that did not come back this year for the 2025 season. Her parents are a new pair. Mama is at the top of the rock face, and she's halfway up on that secondary nest. I could hear her, but wasn't sure where she was until I went back on the secondary nest and found her there. And this is the east face. That rock face is east, so the sun is right there too. United States, Colorado, and the back is facing the sun. And that's what they do for the thermal regulations. They soak up the sun. And that's why they spend a lot of time perching when they're not flying or hunting. We watched her grow. She was born on April 18th. And we watched her grow in the nest, being fed by her parents. And then we watched her taking her first flight on July 4th. And we have followed her since April, growing up from tiny all-white eaglet to this 8-month-old eaglet. And most eaglets will migrate in September, October. This one is still around. Hi, John Pickard. Hi, Nancy Drew. Eaglet is still here. I was asking the officials from wildlife, and they said usually they do migrate in September, October, but we've had an exceptional warm autumn and beginning of winter. So the food is still available. So the parents have sticked around, and eaglet is with the parents. While food is still around, they usually migrate to find food. And because it is a first eaglet, almost sure of that, they may not have quite figured out they shouldn't feed it for so long. Mama is perched above her at the very top of the rock face. And eaglet has been hanging out on the old secondary nest of the other pair that did not come back this year, the pair that had been here for 10 years plus. This nest has been here 30 years, was the primary one. I hope the picture is acceptable. The sun is rising and it's behind that rock face, so I get a direct hit with the sun rays. But I just wanted to film her on a live and on a short while she's still here. It won't be a long stream as I am working. And thought I would grab that stream before the wind starts again. We've been getting real crazy wind. The calm before the next storm, right? And I just stream wildlife. But we've been following this eaglet since April. Well, we followed the parents mating on the incubating, mating in February, incubating in March. She was born in April. April 18th was the first sight, and we were checking every day. And she sticked around, so we're still following her. I'm using only a cell phone on the scope. I'm filming a mile away. And I just do it as a hobby. I am non-monetized for that reason. I'm not a professional. And I do it when I can grab time. And this is not my property, this is where I work. And the nests are on the property. Everything I film is mostly on the property where I work, which is filled with wildlife. It is designed to be a refuge for wildlife. Deer, raccoons, skunks, white-tailed deer, mule deer, squirrels, all kinds of birds depending on the season. Bald eagles, golden eagles as we're watching now, hawks, blue herons, pelicans, mountain lions. When it gets very cold, they will come out. Black bear. Best way to catch me is to turn your notifications on all, as I never know when I'm going to come on. It all depends on when the animals show up. Yeah, it was Nancy. It was right by my windows, so I had to go out in the high wind with a farmhand and collect the fence during the wind, in between wind gusts, because it was aiming for the windows, and the huge windows. And then what didn't break, we cut it down because the main posts were gone, we couldn't secure it. In all the time I worked here, this is the first time this happened, put it that way, and we've had some strong winds here. I'm going to film like half an hour because I've got to go to run some errands for the boss. But just thought that Eaglet's fans would want to see her, particularly after that wind we got, hurricane force winds. Hi, Sir Bruce. Mama is still on. Oh no, Mama flew away. She might be on the rock face somewhere, but as Eaglet is still calling, she is around. She just moved. She's not on the top anymore. She might be close by, Eaglet. I'm hoping the picture is not too bad. For some reason, it keeps wanting to autofocus, but I haven't changed any settings. Yesterday was insane here. It was 75 degrees. It was warm and windy, but this was the warmest 22nd of December. In the record keeping. And wildlife thinks that's why Eaglet is still here, because we're having an exceptional warm winter. Very windy, but warm too. The parents are still here because they can't find food, so Eaglet is still here. Usually they would migrate to find food as food gets harder to find here due to harsh winter. But we're having a warm winter. So Eaglet did not follow the parents looking for food, which means she sticked around. And she took over that secondary nest. This nest is 30 years old. We were watching a pair for the last 10 years, the same ones. They didn't come back because they were disrupted by humans last spring, well, this past spring. And a new pair came in, built a nest in 2 months, mated, had eggs, and eaglets. So in the last weeks, the parents were showing this eaglet, this secondary nest, and she seems to have sticked on that nest instead of the nest where she was born. So she's neighbor to the parents, but not on the primary nest. So I guess she could be the babysitter if she's still around when the next set of eaglets is born. She will go eventually. She's just taking a sweet time, which is fine. We can watch her. She turned 8 months old on December 18th. In all the years I've been watching eaglets here, this is the first one that stayed this long. Usually by 4 months old, they're gone. I am filming a mile away from the patio with an old phone on the scope. So that's the best I can do. I am not monetized. It's not a full-time hobby. I have to work to earn a living. I just share what I see when I can stop working. And we have been following the eaglet growing since April. Thank you, Bruce, because my tablet is inside and I don't want to turn it on. It takes from the signal, and then we've got disconnections. I'll be right back. I'm going to get a coffee. It's still kind of chilly. I'm still hoping at some point to get her hunting, catch something. It is a beautiful bird, and we are so blessed to have it around for so long. Hi, here I am. She is one kind of a bird. She did take her first flight so early too. She took it right on 10 weeks old. Yeah, 10 weeks old, I think she was, July 4th. She's a freedom bird. And the parents, being new parents, didn't realize they should stay with the eaglets for like a month. And the siblings was eaten by a snake in the nest. That one was almost eaten. And Mama Snake caught Mama Eagle caught the snake and ate it. But they were leaving the nest, both looking for food instead of one staying in the nest. The old pair used to stay with them a month, guarding them, always one in the nest. This new pair, they both left the nest a few days after they were born. But she made it, almost eaten by a snake. Fledged early on July 4th. And was supposed to migrate in September or October. December 23rd, she's still here. And it seems that she's taken that old 30-year-old secondary nest as hers. The parents last week kept bringing her on that nest during the high winds. And I think they were telling her, we need the primary nest, you take that nest. And to my surprise, this morning I could hear her, couldn't find her, and I went to look on that nest just in case, and sure enough, she was on the nest. And behind her, behind that rock, there is actually a cave right above the nest. So if it's really, really windy, she can just hop in the cave to be protected. And it has been hard to find her perching and remaining perched. She flies a lot these days. So I grabbed the opportunity while it's not windy, too cold. Her moving around. So I guess while the weather is nice and warm, she might stick around, from my understanding. And if the weather gets cold for more than a week, and food is getting hard to find, the parents will migrate to find food. And they always come back to mate on the same nest, and she will follow and carry on her journey. If it remains warm, they'll stay here, and she might stay here for a while longer. Time will tell. Any new day with the sight of Eaglet is a blessed day to me. Itch, or that's the way they're preening, I don't know. I know there aren't any flies right now. But then again, the temperature raised so much. Yesterday we had a record day. We had a record everything this last 7 days. Wind, crazy, insane wind. We were in that warning again yesterday, and it was rather windy. The wind was so warm. I'm still hoping that one day she'll come down like she does and just perch on a post. They often do that when they hunt, perch on a post, fence post, and like perch right in front of me. That would be so neat to capture. Miracles happen every day, so I'll keep on hoping. Maybe she'll bless us with a presents on Christmas Day. I'm working, but not the usual jobs. So I'll have some time on my hands. And if she shows up, I'll be filming it. Unlike on Thanksgiving, we had the golden eagles and the bald eagles. Yes, Thanksgiving mornings, that's the first thing I filmed for an hour. The pair came to perch on the tree. When it's very, very, very cold for more than 4 days and below zero, I mean -20, I actually have wall trouts. in the freezer, and I'll take them out and I'll place them on the fence post, and the bald eagles will come to fetch them. That's why they let me approach them. They know what I'm doing by now. And maybe golden eaglet will learn. Okay, well, unless she goes back to perch. I don't know where she's gone. She's still on the rock somewhere. I didn't see her flying up, so just let me look. She's still around, calling. It's where she was. I'm not seeing her in the sky. Oh, there you go. That's Mama. That's not Eaglet, that's Mama. So she can't be far from Mama. Ah, she's right below Mama. Try to zoom back in. Take them away from the chat. Remember, it's all manual. Oh. Dang it. All right. Now I might be too high. It's the best I'm going to get. Where is she? Okay. So Mama is at the top, Eaglet is at the bottom. I think it's Mama. Mama's got more white than Papa. I could try to put it up a bit. I'll zoom out to center it. This is the only app, YouTube app, that doesn't center quite correctly. I'm back to where I was. There we go. I was trying to see if I could find Papa, because Bruce said he was on the left, to get a family portrait. Zoom out. Cannot see it. Maybe on the top left. I don't know if that's a rock. I hope the picture is still acceptable. I moved and the autofocus is trying to do whatever it does. I don't have autofocus on my phone, but I'm guessing YouTube app does. I don't know. Hey, Snooks. Eaglet is at the bottom, Mama is at the top. And Eaglet was on the secondary nest, the old pair's nest, the 30-year-old secondary nest, which has a cave right above it. So I did some digging on wildlife things because we are having an exceptional warm winter, very windy but warm. We had some cold snaps, but nothing compared to usual. The parents did not have to leave yet to look for food somewhere else. And Eaglet would follow them and carry on a journey. But because they've still got food, they're not leaving anywhere. And Eaglet is sticking around because of that. Ample food. So if they don't go during the winter, she might stick around and go when she's ready to go. Time will tell. And because I believe it's their first set of eaglets, they're still learning to be parents too, and maybe forgot to tell her, look for your food. I'm still catching food for her. Yeah, she's keeping me company. Merry Christmas. Sorry, I'm outside, so I can't share links, or I might lose the signal. We're having weak signal due to the winds and, destroyed towers, whatever. I'm working on Christmas Day, but light duty, mostly cooking for the boss. So I'm hoping that she'll still be here on Christmas Day, then I can film it. But she turned 8 months old on December 18th. And to my surprise this morning, I could hear her, couldn't see her, so I took the scope out. And I was scoping for quite a while, and then I thought, maybe she's on that old nest, and sure enough, she was there. Look at that feather. Thank you, Snooks. The wind totally blew my filming area under the trees. Where the fence broke, I had like so many rocks and heavy rocks in the boxes, and it still blew it out. So I've got to do it again. But the deer is still in ruts, so they're in smaller groups. And since the wind, they're definitely in smaller group. And I made a new friend. I'm convinced she's one of Mishka, aka Fatso Squirrel kid, because she had one baby that had a funny tail, and that squirrel has a funny tail, that thing on the tail. And she's coming every day to visit me for nuts, just like Mishka. No problem. I love sharing wildlife. stopped commenting to grab some shawls. Enjoy your day as well, and Merry Christmas. And assuming there is wildlife around, I will be streaming on Christmas. For the ones that might be home, alone, I'll be at work with animals. But I usually try to stream on days like Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's Day. And they're both facing the same way because they're taking the sun rays. Sun is still right there off the rock face. And that helps with the thermal regulations. That's why you'll see them perched a lot. Thermal regulations while they've got the sun. Mama is at the top, Eaglet is at the bottom. Hi, Thomas. You as well, Thomas? She thought she was ready to go. Hello, God bless America. Merry Christmas to you too. Mama is on the top. Eaglet is on the bottom. I thought maybe she would fly off, but no. She heard the geese. It's not me moving, the wind is picking up. The wind picks up, they're going to fly off. Eaglet is at the bottom, Mama is at the top. not seeing Papa doesn't mean it's not around. Hey, 90% Junk Silver. Merry Christmas. All right, I was hoping to catch them in flight, but at least take off because I can't follow them. I'm not fast enough. But doesn't look like it. Mama, golden eagle is at the top. Eaglet is below her. 8 months old. Turned 8 months on December 18th. I was hoping Mama maybe would fly off to show you a wingspan, but doesn't look like it. Thank you, Thomas. All right, I'm going to go to work, so I'll call it a day. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one. Have a blessed day. Bye. Blessings.